All right, welcome back everyone to another day in our 100-day challenge. Different setting today and different set of exercises. I want you to follow along the best you can to something new using the principles you've learned so far of breathing, anchoring into the legs, and we're going to focus today on using the back, the lats, the low back to move the upper limb. So don't overthink it, just follow along. Let's try some new movements. Step the feet wide, sit your hips down a little bit into a somewhat of a sumo squat, a shallow sumo squat. One hand behind the back, the other hand reaches through the fingertips and rotates, inhaling to one side, exhaling open. The hips and legs and ribs turn to allow the arm to move. Inhaling to one side, exhaling across. We rotate the hand as we turn so that the pinky, the knife edge of the hand leads the motion. Switch sides. Like in our other movements with the arms elevated, we want the arm relaxed relatively. But the backhand, where it touches our low back, we can feel that part of the back sinking down, so the tailbone dropping, but also the feet and the back initiating the movement. So pushing off through the feet, through the back, and that moves the arm. Now similar motion, but we start high and we end low. The ribs and shoulder reach up high, and then as we exhale and turn, they compress downwards. So you should feel this as an opening and closing or lifting and lowering in the whole rib side. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Switch sides now. The eyes somewhat follow the hand. We don't lift the head or crane the neck to look up, but the eyes follow the hand to its end spot. Here we start high and we turn the body, reaching the elbow as high as we can. The hand floats overhead and presses downwards. So starting high, hand rotates, overhead. We'll switch sides here. Inhaling, the hand comes all the way up. Exhaling, we turn and the elbow traces up and over. Now the same thing, the hand traces up and over, and the last bit of turn in the ribs switches the hands, lifts the other hand. So you should feel the upper hand side ribs lifting up and the lower hand side ribs compressing down. So there's a asymmetrical feeling in the back. One side lifting up, the other side lifting down or pressing down. And again, pressing through the foot, both feet, feeling this motion move through the whole back. And now we reverse this motion. So inhaling, the hand scoops through the midline. Exhaling, lifts all the way up. Exhaling, lowers down, pressing down. So all of these exercises work to try to put motion back into the ribs and back and take it out of the shoulder joint, the small muscles of the shoulder complex. Inhaling, turning, the hand scoops up. Exhaling, compressing the ribs down. Switch sides now. Inhaling, scooping up and turning. Exhaling, compressing downwards. So we want this sort of piston action of the ribs and back, driving the arms through different movements. And that motion should be fueled by the legs. So the feet and legs press the ground with the tailbone lowering, that lets the force go right through to the ribs and back and move the arm. So there's this chain of feet, low back, ribs, arm. And we're just practicing that chain over and over and over to learn how to start to use full body motions and quit overusing the arms, shoulders, neck. So now here we have one hand piercing out like we're trying to touch the diagonal corner of the room, and then the back pulls the arm back like tug of war. We have to use our full back here to pull back. So our ribs twist, rotate forward to extend, and rotate back to withdraw the arm. Other side now. And so at the back position, the arm is loaded, so to speak. The elbow's back by the ribs, and the foot can push and drive the arm forward, and then the back and the twisting of the ribs pulls the arm back. Breathing, exhaling as you pull back, or either way. Exhale one way, inhale the other. Often we exhale out and inhale back. Now we combine the two. Instead of crossing the body now on a diagonal, we're going to go right in front of the head here. So we won't be able, it's a little harder to feel that back moving without crossing the midline. We're not as stretched out. So try to keep turning the ribs as you drive the hands forward and pulling the ribs back as you withdraw the hand. Now this is a fun one. We're going to turn the hips, rotate the ribs. The arm scoops forward, the back of the hand leading the way. As we turn the ribs back, the hand rolls over and makes this back fisting strike downward. So think of your smacking downward on something here. You're scooping the hand through and then dropping the weight of a loose fist onto something. Turning the ribs, letting the little momentum move the arm through, and then pulling the ribs back to drop the back of the hand. Now, if we were training martial arts, this is where we would use the hand to hit something, to hit a target or a pad. Now we combine the two sides into one continuous motion. The ribs are really turning side to side here, and the arms are just following. All right. One hand pierces forward at face level. The other hand traces through it, and the arms switch in a circular motion. So The forward hand is out, the other hand pierces through it, and the first hand circles around. Easier to follow than to describe, but we have this whipping action with the arms. We're sort of cocking the motion here with the ribs forward, and we turn the ribs to swing the arms through a circular motion back to the beginning. So pierce, circle, pierce, circle. Again, the knife edge side of the hand. We're going to change sides now. So we're going to pierce, scrubbing the first arm, circle. We're sort of winding the ribs up like we're going to throw a baseball, but it circles and swings the arm around. We're throwing the arm around. And the backhand is circling back to counterbalance that force. So we aren't, when you throw a baseball, you're throwing yourself off balance often. But here, our back arm circles as our front arm circles in this windmill-like swinging pattern. It's very powerful and very stable. Good, that's a hard one. We got several hard ones today, but you guys are getting to be intermediate. You've done this so long now. One leg forward, back leg turned out a bit. Set that arm up on the shelf. Back hand behind your back. So push with the feet, draw the shoulder and ribs back. Push forward, press the palm. Yeah, so drawing back, sinking the arm, pressing forward. Drawing back. So this is called a shoulder roll, or really a rib roll. So the ribs on the straight arm side have this circular rolling feeling as they lift up and back, down and forward. And the arm is just translating that movement into this sort of dragging back and pushing forward action. Switching sides now. Other side. Drawing back, pressing forward. Pressing, using the feet to press back. Back leg pushes you forward, pushes the ribs and arm forward. So very different motion now, but it's the same thing. The feet pressing into the tucked tail, the tucked low back, driving the ribs a direction, and the arm follows. So feet back, ribs, arm. Feet back, ribs, arm. That's the order of our chain of movement, tying the motion from the hand all the way down to the feet. Now widen the feet a bit. Oh, this is a fun one. It has a great name like, I don't know, cobra striking from the basket or something. Just follow along. I'm not going to describe it. We have a striking hand that lifts and pierces forward with the fingers. We turn the ribs to cock that hand and fire it forward. Trading hands, drawing the hand up towards the face, driving it forward. Just follow along. Keep that same kinetic chain in mind. Feet, back, ribs, arm. Tucking the tail. Over and over, you'll find your lower back wants to arch and you want to tense in your low back, but keep sinking that tail, letting the low back bones push outward. Great work. Now the fun starts. A rocking horse with 3 roots, wide legs, shifting to one side. That side's hand and foot get heavy, like we're pressing down on the floor, and the hand is pressing down towards the foot, pressurizing one side, and then rocking slowly over the other. This builds a lot of strength in the legs. Try to relax the shoulders here. My shoulders could relax more. And we're not leaning, we're not tilting so far. I don't have to lean as far as I am here. It's more of a sense of weighting and pressurizing one side and then slowly shifting to the other. We want to feel that shift all the way through the body. Now as we inhale, we shift to one side and we turn our hips and our ribs, and that backhand pushes forward. So now we have one hand pushing forward and one hand pushing down. And then back to the center. Inhaling, pressing, exhaling, turning back to the center. This is our second root of our rocking horse trio. The next one is called poke, and I'm not even going to describe it. You just watch. We swing the arms and poke through. Back to center. Turn the hips and the ribs, the arms swing, poke through. You should look a little silly doing it. Don't be too self-conscious. Just go for it. The upper back and shoulders really have to open here. The backhand kind of gathers and then pierces through, pokes. It's hard here to not arch the low back, so keep thinking of sinking the tailbone. Yeah. We want to open the upper back and shoulders without arching the low back. All right, last one. We can't leave it off. Drilling up, pressing down. Again, just follow along. The arms scoop and gather below. One hand drills up. Both palms press down. This is a very comforting motion for some reason. The arms are close to the midline, close to the body. The pinky side of the hand curls in and gathers, and one hand pierces up, both palms lower. Inhaling up, exhaling down. This has been a little divergence from our regularly scheduled exercises. To try something new, you're probably getting a little comfortable with what you're doing. So I wanted to throw something new into the mix. See how your body feels doing something new, and your brain has to puzzle through a lot of new motions. We're going to do that occasionally. We're getting near half through. So stick with it. We'll be returning to most of our normal exercises, but we're going to add in a thing or two from what we did today. Circling the belly, rubbing the back, resting the arms, standing, letting all the effort fall away. Thank you so much for being here. Wherever you are, practice. We'll see you tomorrow.